It was a rainy Wednesday evening when my phone buzzed on the kitchen table. A text from Mom appeared on the screen. "Don't call or come over. We're done. And don't even think about the will, sweetie." My heart stopped. The rain outside got louder. The hot chocolate in my mug went cold right there. No sorry, no reason, just words that felt like a slap. I wrote back 2 simple words. "Got it." Then I took a slow sip of my hot chocolate, feeling the cold liquid go down my throat. By midnight, my phone kept buzzing with missed calls and texts. And that's when my whole world started falling apart. Everyone in town always said my family was perfect. Dad in his fancy suits, Mom's diamond necklace shining bright, my sister Kelly smiling big at every birthday party. From far away, we looked like a happy family in Phoenix. But happy families have secrets hiding underneath. Dad Marcus Reed made his money selling houses. Big beautiful houses. The man could sell ice to someone living at the North Pole. He was the kind of father who thought being strict meant he cared. "This family name means something," he always said, pointing his finger at me during dinner. "You need to make us proud, Rachel." I never cared about houses or money. I loved books and stories, not walking through empty rooms with fake smiles. I wanted to write stories that made people feel something real. When I told him a publisher wanted to print my first book, he made a face like I just said something silly. "If you chase these silly dreams," he said, "you're on your own." He really meant those words. I worked 3 jobs to pay for everything while Kelly got a brand new laptop at 15 just for getting good grades. Mom never said anything to help me. She would drink her coffee, smile without showing teeth, and say quietly, "He pushes you because he knows you can do more." But I understood the real truth. She knew what I knew. Kelly was their favorite, the one they already picked as their winner. Time went by. I wrote my books from a tiny apartment with broken heating. People started reading my stories. By the time I turned 28, my books were in stores all over Arizona. But at every holiday dinner, they only talked about Kelly, her new job, her smart ideas, my books. "That's nice, sweetheart," Dad would say without even looking up from his plate. When Mom got really sick 4 years ago, I dropped everything. I paid for her doctors, her medicines, every single bill that came. When Kelly's store closed down and she owed money, I sent $25,000 to help her out. When Dad's office needed new computers, I bought them. They always said thank you, but it felt empty, like reading words with no feeling. Then another problem would come. Looking back now, I think I kept giving because someday I hoped they would finally see me not as the strange one, not as Plan B, but as part of them. Turns out being family wasn't hard. How they saw family was the problem. And the night my mother sent that message, I finally saw how deep their coldness really went. Everything exploded at a family meeting that felt like being in trouble at school. Dad said we needed to talk about important stuff. I should have known that meant Kelly's important stuff, not mine. They sat around the big wooden table, the one covered with photos of Kelly winning awards and shaking hands with important people. I stood at the far end, notebook ready, excited to share my idea, a writing workshop for kids who couldn't pay for classes. Free books, free lessons, a real chance to help, not just talk. I explained my plan for maybe 3 minutes before Dad cut me off. "You think poor kids will become writers?" he said, his voice flat but mean. "They need real jobs, not fairy tales." Kelly laughed while scrolling on her phone. "Yeah, maybe you should write kids' books instead, Rach." Mom stood near the window, messing with the curtains, not looking at me at all. My hands felt shaky under the table. "It's not fairy tales," I said softly. "It's giving kids hope and teaching them something valuable." Dad leaned back in his chair, shaking his head. "We're not wasting money on your silly project. Kelly wants to open another store. That's what matters." Something inside my chest broke into pieces. All those years, the bills I paid, the nights I couldn't sleep worrying about Mom getting better. None of it mattered even a little bit. "Mom," I said, looking right at her, "you've read my books. You know this could change lives." She paused, her eyes jumping between me and Dad. "Just sounds like too much risk, Rachel. You know business is hard." Her words hurt worse than his mean comments. "Risk, that was The exact same word he used when I said I wanted to be a writer. Then suddenly Mike, Kelly's husband, said something. His voice was quiet, but everyone stopped to listen. "I think it's a really good idea," he said. "Kids need more programs like this." Kelly gave him a look that could freeze fire. He went quiet immediately. Dad waved his hand like swatting a fly. "Enough talking. We're done here." As I picked up my notebook, I caught Mike's eyes across the room. He whispered something that made my blood run cold. "I need to tell you the truth." Later that night he met me outside by my car. His hands were shaking. "Kelly's been stealing money from the business, thousands and thousands of dollars. She's been lying to your parents for years." My heart started beating so fast. "Are you completely sure?" He nodded his head yes. "I found all the papers. She's been hiding everything." Before I could say anything back, Dad's voice came from inside the house. "We need to finish the will paperwork. Kelly's the only one who understands what family means." Mom said something too quiet to hear clearly. Then Dad spoke again, loud and final. "Rachel's too busy with her books. She doesn't care about any of us." And right there, standing in the dark driveway outside my parents' house, I finally understood something important. The betrayal wasn't about to happen. It already did happen a long time ago. The next morning, my phone made a sound before the sun came up. A new text from Mom. "Don't call or come over. We're done. And don't even think about the will, sweetie." I read those words once, then again, then one more time. The letters got blurry like I was looking through water. 4 years, I'd been the one paying for hospital bills, Kelly's debts, and office equipment. And now, with just one text message, I disappeared from their life. I sat on the edge of my bed, the morning still dark outside my window. My chest felt empty inside, not broken, just like someone scooped everything out. The kind of quiet that comes after you've cried so much there's nothing left. I typed 2 words back to her. "Got it." No period, no question mark, just those 2 words. Then I put the phone down and walked to my kitchen. The kettle made a soft whistling sound. I poured hot chocolate into my favorite mug, watching the steam rise up toward the ceiling. I picked up the cup, took a slow sip, and for the first time in forever, the quiet didn't scare me anymore. Felt like I was finally in control. Opened my laptop computer. My bank app lit up on the screen. One by one I stopped everything. Mom's hospital payments gone. Kelly's store bills canceled. The office supply payments stopped completely. Each button I clicked sounded like a door slamming shut. I wasn't crying. My hands weren't shaking. I just felt lighter, like taking off a heavy backpack. For the first time ever, my money wasn't feeding their silence. It was buying my freedom back. By lunchtime my phone started ringing. Mom first, then Dad, then Kelly. I didn't pick up. I couldn't answer, not because I was mad, but because I finally understood how much control I'd given them over me. The screen lit up again. Another phone call, then another one after that. By dinner time there were 18 missed calls, 6 voicemails, and lots of text messages. "You're destroying this family. How could you hurt your mother like this? You're going to be sorry, Rachel." I didn't write back to any of them. I just flipped the phone face down on the table. When the clock showed midnight, it started again, a crazy storm of buzzing and flashing like fireworks going off. And as I sat there, hot chocolate getting cold next to me, I understood something simple but painful. They didn't want me as a person. They wanted my help and my money. The version of me that never said no, that paid every bill and kept everything running. That version of me didn't exist anymore. I looked out the window at the city lights glowing orange in the distance. Somewhere far away, a dog barked. Then everything went quiet. "I'm done," I said quietly, not to them but to myself. And for the first time ever, I actually truly believed those words. By morning, the storm of messages hadn't stopped, just changed into something different. 32 missed calls, 9 voicemails. Tons of texts piled up like homework I didn't want to do. I made breakfast like it was just a normal day. The smell of toast filled my little apartment while the phone kept lighting up next to the toaster. I didn't touch it until one voicemail from Dad appeared with the word important. Press play. His voice came through angry and bossy. You need to fix this mess, Rachel. The business can't work without your money. You owe us that much. That word hit me like someone threw something at my face. I'd given hundreds of thousands of dollars over the years. Savings, my hard work, my time, and now they said I owed them. Another voicemail started playing. Kelly, this time. You think you can just leave us? You're so selfish. You're making Mom cry every single day. Then Mom's voice came on, soft and shaky. Please, Rachel, don't do this to me after everything we've been through together. I pressed my hands flat on the counter, the cold surface making me feel steady. They weren't calling to say sorry. They were calling to make me feel guilty and take control again. By noon, Mike called me. His voice sounded worried and quiet. They know I told you. About the stolen money, he said. Kelly's so angry at me. She's trying to make it seem like you made the whole thing up. Don't worry about it, I told him. I'm done trying to explain myself to them. That night I couldn't fall asleep. I sat by the window with my phone glowing next to me, watching unread messages keep coming in. I should have blocked their numbers. Instead, I just watched them appear one after another. Each one reminded me how desperate they were without my money helping them. By the end of the week, I said yes to meeting them, not to become friends again, just to end everything the right way. The coffee shop was one of the few places in Phoenix where nobody knew our family. The air smelled like coffee and fresh rain outside. They were already sitting there when I walked inside. Dad with his arms crossed tight. Mom looking pale but sitting up straight. Kelly playing with her phone and not looking up. Mike wasn't with them. Dad didn't wait even 1 second. You've caused a huge mess, Rachel. Bills aren't getting paid. People are threatening to take us to court. I put my bag down on the chair, keeping my voice calm and steady. That's not something I need to worry about anymore. Kelly leaned forward with a mean smile on her face. You think you're better than all of us now, don't you? 'Cause you write some books and people read them. I looked right into her eyes. Write stories, Kelly. That's what it's called when you create something real. She laughed and shook her head side to side. You've always been so dramatic about everything. You just want everyone to pay attention to you. I interrupted her before she could say more. You stole money from the business. Those words made her stop talking immediately. Dad's eyebrows came together. What are you talking about right now? Mike told me everything, I said. The hidden bank accounts, the money that just disappeared. Kelly's jaw got tight. He's lying to you. He showed me the papers, I said back, keeping my voice flat and calm. No, it's true. Dad turned to look at her. His eyes getting smaller. Is what she's saying true, Kelly? Kelly stood up fast, her chair scraping the floor. You're going to believe her instead of me. She's been jealous since we were little kids. Enough of this, I said quietly but firmly. This isn't about being jealous. It's about respect and telling the truth. 2 things I never got from this family ever. Mom's voice started shaking. Rachel, please don't do this to us. We can talk and fix it. I looked straight at her face. We're way past talking, Mom. You made that really clear when you sent me that text message. The color drained from her face like water. I didn't mean those words the way they sounded. You wrote, don't call or come over, we're done, and don't even think about the will, sweetie. I said every single word back to her, keeping my voice steady and strong. You meant exactly what you wrote. The whole coffee shop got quiet. Even the person making coffee stopped moving for a second. Dad cleared his throat loudly. You've always been too sensitive about every little thing. I smiled just a tiny bit. And you've always thought being mean was the same as being a good parent. For the first time ever, I saw his eyes look unsure and confused. I reached into my bag, took out a folded envelope, and put it on the table between us. Sold the rights to my book series, I said clearly. A big movie company bought them for $900,000. They all just stared at me with their mouths open. I did that completely by myself, I continued. No loans from you, no family money, just my own hard work. Kelly's mouth twisted into an ugly shape. Good for you. Do you want a trophy or something? No, I said. I just want you to understand that I don't need this family anymore. And you don't get to call me when everything falls apart. Dad's jaw clenched tight. You think money makes you powerful and strong. I leaned forward. Just a little bit. Well, walking away from you does. The silence after that was heavier than any screaming could ever be. Mom finally spoke with tears filling up her eyes. We're still your family no matter what. Family doesn't use you like a piggy bank, I said softly and clearly. Family doesn't throw you away when you stop giving them money. Kelly slammed her hand down hard on the table. You're pathetic and weak. You think you can just cut us out of your life. I met her anger with total calmness. That's funny. That's exactly what you all did to me first. She opened her mouth to yell again, but I stood up before she could make a sound. I'm not your safety net anymore, I said to all of them. Not your backup plan, not your excuse for anything. Dad's voice got louder and angrier. You're going to regret this choice, Rachel. Mark my words. I turned around with one hand resting on the chair. Maybe I will regret it. But at least I'll regret it living my own life on my own terms. As I walked toward the door, I heard Mom whisper somewhere behind me. Please, Rachel, don't leave like this. But I didn't turn around to look. The door made a soft bell sound as it closed behind me. The air outside felt cool and fresh, the sun sitting low and painting everything golden orange. My phone buzzed one more time in my pocket, but I didn't check it. When I got to my car, I finally let out a big breath I didn't know I was holding inside. Through the coffee shop window I could still see them sitting there. 3 dark shapes arguing with each other, their voices muted and blocked by the glass. I wasn't part of that noise anymore. I didn't belong to that chaos. I took out my phone, looked through all the messages they sent, and pressed delete everything. The screen went blank, quiet, totally clean. I started my car engine, soft music playing from the radio. For the first time in my whole life, I wasn't running away from them. I was driving toward my real self. 1 year later I heard the news through people we both knew, not from my family directly. The Reed business was completely gone. The family legacy Dad protected like treasure had crashed down because of debt and court cases. People sued them after finding out about Kelly's hidden money. Dad tried to fight back in court, but the numbers showed the truth. Kelly's name showed up in the local newspaper next to words like stealing and lies. Mike divorced her quietly and moved to Seattle with their son. Mom and Dad sold their big house and moved into a small apartment outside Phoenix. Didn't feel happy when I heard all of this. Just a strange, heavy calmness, the kind that comes after a big storm destroys everything and leaves the air feeling fresh and new. My writing career had grown bigger. I opened a second office in Los Angeles, traveling between cities, creating workshops that had my name on shiny signs. Every once in a while, I'd walk into a library I'd helped build. Warm lights hanging down, comfortable chairs, soft music playing, and I'd think to myself, this is what home feels like when you build it with your own hands. One afternoon, sitting by the window of a cafe in California, I ordered the same kind of hot chocolate I drank that night. The steam curled up into the sunlight just like it did before. A notification blinked on my phone screen, an unknown number calling from Phoenix. I let it ring until it stopped, the sound fading away beneath the soft jazz music playing around me. I smiled to myself, lifted my cup up, and took a slow, peaceful sip. The hot chocolate tasted different now, sweeter somehow. Peace didn't come from fixing them and making them better. Came from letting them deal with their own problems. People ask me sometimes if I miss my family at all. The truth is, I miss the version of them I kept hoping was real. The one that might have loved me without rules, without a price attached to everything. But that version never existed anywhere except inside my head and my dreams. Now when I think about the word family, I think about peace and calmness. The kind that doesn't demand things or drain you empty. I think of mornings where nobody calls asking for help or money. And the quiet means I'm safe, not being punished. Family isn't about blood running through your veins. It's about respect and kindness. And silence, when you choose it yourself, can be the loudest form of freedom you'll ever know. If you've ever Had to draw a line between love and taking care of yourself? Write your story in the comments below. I really want to hear what happened to you. And hit that subscribe button because the next story might remind you that walking away isn't being weak. It's being strong.